I want you to touch on today on just how much fear they created in you and your husband. And understand, we're not trying to make them look like the bad guys, because they're programmed to do that. And then because the white coats have been, you know, they're the greatest religion that has ever been put together. I mean, you need to really think about that. When they speak, God has spoken when it comes to health. Meanwhile, they're not in health. Now, but here's the deal. Did I sell you on not getting the PICC line put into your heart and having it there for 6 weeks and running total a barrage of antibiotics that could probably wipe you out? I mean, you might as well go to the casino and take all your money, okay, and then just roll the dice one time and see if you win, because that's what you're doing. I'm not talking about bad or good for goodness sake. I'm telling you that, you know what? Take some responsibility and start making healthy choices. And understand something. You can program anybody to sell or do anything. Tell me. Because understand something. She would not have had this wisdom tooth problem where it cracked, food got in, and then the infection to be as big as a baseball on her face, and then they tell her that they're going to have to cut part of her bone away in her jaw and do a PICC line for 6 weeks and run antibiotics through her heart. Am I making this up?
No.
So I was just and I went, and this is only because she's a friend. I cannot do this, and I will not do this with a patient or a client. I will give them the facts, and then they'll take it. Dr. Wolf, did you sales pitch this person? Yeah, and understand something, everybody that's a natural health practitioner, you make sure that you always say this. If I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. Because understand something, people with autoimmune diseases and people with a symptom called cancer, because cancer is just a symptom, there are no diseases. And cancer is just a symptom of fourth stage infection and inflammation. That's all that led to mutation because of lack of circulation, lack of oxygen, because Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize twice for discovering the cause of cancer, which was lack of oxygen in the cell. So understand something, everybody, okay? And this is it, okay? You are a piece of meat being sold off by the pound. I'm not telling you to trust me either, but I'm telling you one thing. If I am truly your brother, if we are truly an earth family, then why aren't we acting like it? Why aren't we acting like it? And we're not. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You stop hurting yourself and you'll stop hurting others. Rami, why don't you tell them about, just highlight what it was like in the hospital and trying to really protect yourself. Seriously. Okay.
Well, just the fear, like you're in the room and, you know, they come in with a face that is like, you know, you're dying and, you know, everything's bad.
But I can understand it because they live in fear too, because do you know how much death and dying, and disease and suffering they see? Mm-hmm. You know, you cannot, okay, and the main doctor surgeon said, you know, the longer you stay here, Rami, the better chance you have of dying here. Yeah. That's what the main surgeon said at the hospital. Did he say that?
Yeah, he was, the two surgeons that I've seen, they're the only ones that have said, we don't like our people in the hospital because the longer they're there, the worse the chances are for them not coming out alive. Their job is to sell what they want. It really isn't like, I care about what you have and I want to help you. It's like, I have to sell you this because you need to have what I'm telling you because that's the product. It's really a product.
So they had like one come in and then somebody would come in and give a stronger story and scare her, then another stronger story and scare her. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this right now. Hospitals do save lives, but they are still the third leading cause of death in North America. Okay, so what you need to do when you go to a hospital is you need to take an advocate with you. Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely.
Because when you're drugged up or when you're fearful, you need somebody thinking straight. So you always, when you're going to a hospital, you make sure there's an advocate. And I'm going to tell you...
Because if you just let them, you will never be out of there.
Okay, so I took this, right? Because they said the infection, osteomyelitis is, you know what? Why don't they just tell it like it is? Because she didn't even know what osteomyelitis is. So we're sitting here right now and she goes, I don't know what it is. It sounds real bad. And I go, osteo means bone, my means muscle, and itis means inflammation. If they would have said you've got inflammation in your muscles and bone because of an infection, you would then go, well, how do I get rid of the infection to reduce the inflammation so I can heal? You will never get told that by a doctor, because this has got to be in Greek, because you are a stupid moron. You wouldn't even understand it. Well, you didn't understand it, but guess what? It's kind of buyer beware. All you had to do was this. Siri, what's osteomyelitis?
Here's what I found.
Okay, so here's what she found. Okay, it's probably backwards. But the reality is, why didn't Rami do this? Because we are taught to not question. And understand something, when it comes to people coming to me, I tell them that when you come, you better question me on all levels. You better challenge me on all levels. Even if I have the best interest for you and wanting to help you, would have worked on you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I brought it down in 30 minutes of doing non-surgical on her face. Okay, and she still had the drain in here. And this is the God's truth. I brought it down by 78%, didn't I? In 30 minutes. Mike was like looking. He kept looking over and going, I go, Mike, now I'm going to work on this block. Now I'm going to work on this block. Now I'm going to work on this block. And every time I did it, boom. And then the port drain here, the actual padding filled up soaked with infection. Her whole face drained. Now understand something. They weren't lying to her, because they said that this could kill you. And guess what? There's a very good chance that, you know what, in a couple weeks or a week or so, we're going to have to cut away your jaw. Really? Okay? So, you know, you can program anyone, baby. Let me tell you that. Okay? But nobody's programming me, because I know that people are good, but they have bad beliefs. And that's that. And no, I'm Dr. Wolf. I am not a miracle worker. I can teach, and this is the God's truth. And you're not going to like this. And people out there will think I'm disrespecting people. I can teach a 12-year-old how to do what I just did to Rami. I can teach a 12-year-old to tell Rami and Michael logic. Everything I've done with Rami and Michael, I could teach a 12-year-old. Let me tell you, you don't even know the God that really is the God that created everything. Because an 8-year-old can understand anything that needs to be done on this planet. And understand, you don't even know your body. You don't know where your liver is. You don't know where your gallbladder. You don't know. And when you go, oh, I have gut problems. No, you don't. You have large intestine problems or liver problems. You don't have gut problems. And understand something. There's no such thing as a slip disc. No, seriously, guys. You know what? And every time that they use a word, they're going to use a Greek word, because you are dumb moron. And you wouldn't understand if we tried to explain it to you. And tell me, when I said you had osteomyelitis, and I said, well, bone means osteo, my means muscle, okay, itis means inflammation. Now, could anybody put that together? A 6-year-old would understand that. So the reality is guess what? No, your doctor's not a genius. Everybody has genius in them, okay? So anyways, so that drained. And so now Michael is... So here's what happened. As soon as the face drained, Michael went out of anxiety and fear, because he was so energetic like this, because he could lose his wife, that as soon as her face drained after that half hour, he went into exhaustion. Yeah. And what you don't get is this. When you have false evidence appearing real, or there's something really life-threatening there, so whether you think it's there, whether you're just thinking it and it's not happening, or it is there, you cause the same damage. As Michael saw her face go down, has he gone into complete exhaustion? Yeah. Because now the tiger with the teeth is gone, and now he can relax, and now his body goes, okay, now that you've terrorized yourself and you've been dumping adrenaline and cortisol into your body for almost 10 days now, when you stop and the tiger's not ready to eat you, now we're going to put you in bed. Yeah. And understand something, he's exhausted, because this weekend he's going to be laid out, and he could be sick. He might have a fever, he'll be stiff all over. If he doesn't drink a lot of hot water, if he doesn't eat right at these...
You're not, they just wanted to keep me there for 6 months. But I'm feeling it. And even just started taking...
So you do understand that they said 6 months. Do you understand that this was supposed to go on and drag on forever? an actual PICC line in her heart, and it's already over. It's already over. And you started the shrooms 3 days ago?
No, last Wednesday.
סרטונים של דוקטור דרל וולף, כנסו לדף הפייסבוק Dear Dog Life.